What is going on? This is Dr. Evan Osar with Integrative Movement Insider. Welcome to this edition. Happy Tuesday. Hope your week has started out well. This is Active Aging Week, and if you work with older adults like we do in our clinic, then you work with clients that have balance issues. And we know that balance is related to posture. Posture and balance is related to, or are related to, how your clients walk. And walking speed and walking competency, how well your clients walk and how optimally they walk, is related to all-cause mortality. The faster they walk, the better they walk, the more likely it is they will live active, healthy, and sustainable lives. And independence. A lot of our older clients want independent lives. They want to stay in their homes, or they want to be independent in their assisted living facilities. So they want to and need to walk to be active and do the things they need to, want to, and ultimately many of the things they love to do. One of the things that, obviously there's lots of ways to train balance and ultimately train walking. Lots of strategies that you're already using with success. One of the most overlooked aspects of improving your client's balance, it's also an overlooked component to improving your client's posture, as well as improving your client's walking, is their breathing. How they're breathing specifically. There's actually a lot of good research coming out now, because a lot of people are like, oh, Dr. Oso, that's great, but my clients say they already breathe and I already do that breathing stuff with them. However, there's a lot of cool science, or I should say research, that's coming out now that's looking at specifically how our clients are breathing, nasal breathing, and how it relates to function. There's a study in 2018 that came out that looked at two groups of individuals that had thoracic surgery. One group of individuals had a higher risk of falling, the other one didn't. So they looked at what was different about these two groups of individuals. The one group that breathed better had better balance. They looked at another group of individuals that had COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. That's a disease where clients can breathe in, but they can't get their breath out as well. So they sort of have an oxygen deprivation, so to speak. They also have postural issues as well, and many of them will experience chronic discomfort and obviously walking issues. Well, they took these individuals could not breathe through their nose, so they did mouth breathing, and they showed that even with a little bit of optimal nasal breathing, just whatever they could do, it still improved the parameters of their breathing and the quality of their life, which is super cool. Now, what if you work with higher level individuals? You're like, so that's great for people that have, fall risk, or people that have COPD and chronic pulmonary diseases. What about more athletic individuals? Well, they took a group of elite cyclists and they had them use a restrictive nose device. So it's more challenging for them to breathe through their nose. Those elite athletes also improved performance. So the conclusion of this is, number one, the better your clients breathe, and specifically the better they're able to breathe through their nose, the more optimal their posture, movement, and performance will be, including their balance. So why is nasal breathing so important? Well, there's three big reasons. The big three: it warms, it moistens, and it filters the air. Because remember, the air out here is much cooler than our body temperature, generally speaking. It's drier, especially if we're indoors, which many of our older clients are, and it's filled with particles. You've seen those particles when the sun is coming through the window, and you're looking like, man, this place is real dusty, right? Hopefully not too dusty, but those are all particles that, if we're mouth breathing, we're breathing that cooler, drier, and particle-filled air in. We have the hair in our nose, the nasal hair, that helps to filter, moisten, and the turbinates help to moisten and filter the air as well. The other benefit of nasal breathing is obviously the nasal cavity is smaller, the openings are smaller than your mouth. So it requires more muscular effort in a good way, not in a compromised way, to breathe through the nose than through the mouth. The third thing it does, it's a longer pathway. So it's a longer pathway down to the lungs, down to your trachea, and then down into the lungs when you're breathing through your nose. So there's more ability to, again, warm, moisten, filter the air. It also requires more of that muscular effort, and it also helps to elongate the breathing cycle. Because a lot of our clients, especially the ones that struggle with breathing, they tend to do very short type of breathing. And again, if you look at the posture of a lot of your clients, most of your clients that are predominant mouth breathers, they will have the forward head, they will have a very collapsed thorax, and their thorax will be positioned behind their pelvis, and they'll be mostly belly breathing or upper chest breathing. They do one of two strategies because it's really all you can do when you're a mouth breather. So another way to help your clients improve their posture, their breathing, as well as their balance, is to get them to breathe through their nose, even if just the inhalation is through the nose, because this will also improve stability. The more optimal we can breathe through the nose, and the more optimal the breathing strategy is, the more optimal you can use that thoraco-pelvic cylinder. So the thoraco-pelvic cylinder is a thorax, that lumbar area, so that myofascial girdle that we have through our lumbar area, as well as a pelvis. So it forms a virtual cylinder from the first rib, which is right behind your collarbones, down to your pelvis. So if we can get the breath in through the nose, we have a better ability to breathe through the entire thoraco-pelvic cylinder. That in turn, it's sort of like this. If you think about a stability ball, when a stability ball is blown up to its capacity, it resists compression. So you can sit on here, you can oftentimes sit on here or lie on here with extra weight, and the stability ball will stabilize you. When we breathe through our nose, when we fill up that cylinder, we're regulating pressure inside the cylinder. That gives us stability to withstand compression from gravity, from our muscle contraction, and any external loads. So if you notice someone with posture, good posture, hello, Elena, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for watching. And thank you for the comment. That's great. So if you look at someone with good posture, optimal posture, where they're aligned well, most of the time you're going to see an optimal breathing strategy. Likewise, when you see someone with compromised posture, you're going to see a compromised breathing strategy. Primarily mouth breathing, primarily belly breathing, which is why we don't encourage and or teach belly breathing. It is not an optimal way to use your diaphragm. Now, another point is all breathing is diaphragmatic breathing. You're using your diaphragm. If your diaphragm isn't working, you've got more serious issues in your life. Your client has more serious issues. So all breathing is diaphragmatic breathing. However, belly breathing is not optimal use of the diaphragm or the respiratory system or the postural system. We want to breathe into the entire cylinder, top to bottom, side to side, as well as front to back during quiet respiration. Okay? Now you may see the belly moving. That's part of that three-dimensional breathing strategy. The other thing that breathing does, lastly, before we get to the balance exercises, is it helps to convert, or I should say, modify overactive sympathetic nervous system activity, so that fight and or flight, and it helps to move into that parasympathetic nervous system, which is more of that rest and digest. So it can help change an individual's nervous system activity, which helps to calm them down, helps to relax tight muscles. So breathing in not only physically changes or structurally changes tight muscles by breathing into this region. So if your clients are complaining about chronic back tightness, shoulders tightness, neck tightness, another sign that your client isn't breathing well. It will relax them both from a structural standpoint, from a muscle myofascial standpoint. It will also help relax them from a central nervous system standpoint. So we got a lot of great things that come from breathing. Now, how does that relate to balance, and how can we train our clients to use nasal breathing and more optimal breathing to improve balance? First, you want to teach your clients to inhale through their nose. So you can inhale for a count. Usually we go count of 2 inhale, pause, so that's 3 seconds right there. Then a 4-second exhale, so that's 6 seconds, and then a 7-second pause after the exhale. So that takes 7 seconds. So in the course of a minute, you're doing about, I guess that's higher level math for me, about 8 breaths per minute. So 7 seconds times 8 is 56 seconds. So somewhere around 8 to 9 breaths, which is much lower than a lot of our clients are doing. Think about your clients that are doing like 18 breaths per minute. If you can get them down to 9 breaths per minute, you have just halved the amount of work that your client's doing. Okay, so let's do this together. So we're gonna breathe in, pause, breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's your 6 seconds. Pause, that's your 7 seconds before you breathe in again. Breathe out. Pause. So you've just helped your client breathe more through their nose, elongate the breathing cycle, and you should feel as you do that. Do this one more time. Put your hands on your rib cage. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. And you should feel it fill more of your thoracopelvic cylinder than just going down into the belly. That's optimal breathing, and so step in the right direction. Now, how do we incorporate that to helping our clients improve their balance and lower the risk of falls? So I'm gonna sit on a high table here, high level here. So what you can do is teach your client to breathe in, stand up, breathe out, sit back down. Breathe in, stand up, breathe out, sit back down, and control it. As your client progresses, you just make the surface lower and lower. Okay, so a great way to teach the hip hinge, and for a lot of your clients, your older clients that may have hip issues and or lower extremity issues. Now, we can progress that to have your client bring their feet a little bit closer together now. So same idea, breathe in, take a step, hold it, come back, have a seat. Breathe out. Breathe in, take a step, come back, breathe out as I sit back down. So now we're making it a bit more dynamic, so it's not just a sit to stand, we're going from sit to stand to a dynamic step, so that way they can start to learn how to control their breath and also get their leg out there fast in case they do catch their foot on the carpet or a curb or a step, which it's inevitable that that's gonna happen to our clients at some point in their life. Your next progression is you just go from a split stance position now. So now my left leg is forward, right leg is back. Take a breath in, lower, breathe in, come back up. Lower, breathe out, breathe in, come back up, breathe out, to lower. So the next progression, now you just step into from a split squat, it's basically your lunge now. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Next progression is now you can just take a forward lunge or you can just have your client do a walking lunge. So you just breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. So that way you're coordinating breathing and movement, because obviously that's what our clients need to do throughout the day. So use your static positions like happy baby. You can do this in the seated position. You can do it, happy babies in the supine position. You can do it prone as well. Find the position where you can train breathing. Teach your client how to breathe in for about 2 seconds, pause, 4-second exhalation, pause. Again, even if your client can do 1 breath at a time, progress them up to where they can do 2, 3, and then incorporate it into something simple like a sit to stand with a step, a split squat, and then ultimately into a lunge, and then teach them how to do that when they're walking down the hall or going on their evening walk or morning walk. Great way to train 3-dimensional breathing, add it to fall prevention, make it a little bit more dynamic and interactive, and then also start to put it into the higher level patterns like some of your resistance training, or even if your client is doing cardio, add it into that. So give your client the right progressions and appropriate progressions and help them improve how they use their nose to breathe, create a more optimal breathing strategy, which will improve posture, ultimately improve balance, can improve their walking as well as their overall performance and overall well-being. And that's how you become the specialist for your current clients, and you can attract more individuals that need, want, and will pay you for your expertise. I've got 2 opportunities for you to learn more about breathing. My fellow geek and I, anatomy geek Joe Leary, and I created the Anatomy of Breathing. It's a 3-module series. It's 5 to 6 hours of breathing, discussing the anatomy of breathing. We teach you how the diaphragm works, how the diaphragm relates to the other muscles, the respiratory muscles, like the intercostals, and why getting your client to breathe more through the rib cage and expanding the intercostal spaces is such a vital piece to improving respiration and ultimately their posture and mobility. So if you have clients that have chronic tightness, this will really impact them. We'll teach you how to use 3-dimensional breathing to get out of chronic neck tension as well, because a lot of your clients have chronic neck issues and forward head because directly related to how they're breathing. More importantly, not just the anatomy of it, we want you to be able to apply this anatomy. So we'll teach you how to coordinate this anatomy into functional assessments as well as corrective exercises to improve three-dimensional breathing, and then also take these exercises into functional exercise progressions so you can help your clients at higher levels also perform and improve their performance. So, and I'm throwing in a bonus for Active Aging Week. We're going to do a virtual live training on these concepts, on how to use these concepts of breathing, how to train posture, as well as how we use these concepts with our clients. I'll give you real world examples of how we use these concepts once you have this information under your belt. So we also have CECs with this program. So the link is in the bio, either above, below, wherever you're watching this video, to enroll in that program. And then we'll let you know when the bonus training is going to be later this month and or next month. Other opportunity is one of my dear friends in the industry, Robert Linkle. He's my dear friend regardless of the industry. Robert Linkle is having Training the Older Adult live talks this Saturday. I'm doing a session, maybe be the first session, maybe the second session right after his session, Saturday morning, on the anatomy of breathing for posture, for movement, for performance. So we'll be going through some of the science, a little bit more of the science, and then showing you how to take this into some of your resistance training programs for your older adults. And this is what we do with ourselves in our own training, as well as what we teach for our clients. So you can check out trainingtheolderadult.com. I hope I have that website right, Robert. Thanks for being on this morning, and we look forward to seeing you this Saturday. Again, he's got a great lineup of speakers, myself included, with a lot of great other intelligent, smart people that are doing great things in training older adults. So check that out, trainingtheolderadult.com, and also check out the Anatomy of Breathing. It's a 5 to 6 hour program, CCs, lots of usable, practical information. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of our community. Remember, our clients today need more than ever individuals that bring people together. There's a lot of people out there dividing us, giving us a lot of things to think about, some truths, some not truths. So create a safe space for all your clients, regardless of their ideology and their beliefs. Create a safe space for them. Bring people together, and let's go transform the world. Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you in True Anatomy Geeks and or trainingtheolderadult.com live this weekend. Make it a great day, and we'll see you soon. This is Dr. Evan Osar with Integrative Movement Insider. Take care.